Okay, now we're going to move on, and this is where the fun begins, if you're not already having fun. We're going to take a look at the major scale played with 3-note per string patterns. Like I said, we've been looking at the cage shapes, and I do love using the cage shapes because, like I said, I can see a minor pentatonic or a major pentatonic and then add in the additional notes to really change the sound of the scale and outline chords. But I also use them for playing through chord changes and key changes. But the one thing that I used to do originally was I'd try and move my modal shape 3-note per string all over the neck. So if I was playing A Dorian, for instance, I would play that shape. And then if it's a change to C Dorian, I would have to move my Dorian shape up, which wasn't that useful. Whereas if I used the cage system, I could play Dorian, and then there's C Dorian in the same area, and then back to A Dorian. So you can see that my hand isn't actually moving away from the 5th fret. So that's why I like using the cage system. But the 3-note per string is a much more modern scale in the way that it's constructed, because it enables us to play runs and sequences. We can use all manner of different techniques with it: alternate picking, legato, tapping, economy picking, the list goes on. But for that, they're great scales for that. But like I said, I like to visualise the modes a little more around the chord shapes. But what I find is if I combine 2 of my cage shapes, I end up with the 3-note per string pattern anyway. So quite often I find myself sort of slipping between the 2 approaches, either 3-note per string or caged. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the G major scale now, and we're going to play 3-note per string shapes. We're just going to be playing them purely in the key of G, so what we have to do here is visualise the G root notes. So remember from the first lesson that we did in Fretboard Navigator Volume 1, we looked at locating root notes all over the neck. We're going to be using that technique here quite a lot to help us map the whole fingerboard out in one key. Now it's going to be really important for you to nail this particular approach, playing 3-note per string, because we're going to be repeating these shapes throughout all of the modal demonstrations. The only thing that's going to change is the chord underneath it, and those are the chords in the harmonised scale, which we also looked at in Volume 1 of Fretboard Navigator. So we're going to kick things off then with our first shape, which is a 3-note per string pattern starting from the 3rd fret. The root note is on the 3rd fret bottom E, the 5th fret D, and the 8th fret B. Here's the scale shape: 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. Okay, and if I want to resolve to root, I get this. And then back up the scale. Okay, the next position, basically each one of these scale shapes, there are 7 in total, they're constructed from each note of the scale. Imagine playing G major on 1 string. We simply start from G and play G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. The next position starts from A, but we continue round the same cycle of notes. So A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. Start from B. B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and so on. So you're still rotating the same 7 notes, but you're starting from each new position is starting from each note of the scale. So here's the next position. The G root notes are on the D string at the 5th and the B string at the 8th again. So starting from the root note, 5th fret D, then we have 5, 7, 8 on the E, now onto the A string, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, and resolve to 8 on the B. So here's the scale root to root. Okay, the next position starts from the B note, so we've started from G, A, B, so we're starting from the 3rd degree of the scale, continuing around the same set of notes, so B, C, D, F sharp, etc. Start off then, 7th fret, but our G root note is on the 10th fret of the A and the 8th fret of the B. So start off on the 10th fret of the A, 7, 8, 10, 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 11, 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12. So root to root. Okay, back down. I'm always practicing notes above and below the root notes, so you're covering the whole range of the fingerboard within that particular position. Our next position then starts from the 4th note, C. Our root notes are on the 10th fret of the A, 12th fret G. So from the 10th fret A, we have 8, 10, 12 on the E, 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, 9, 11, 12, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14. So root to root. And back down. Next position starts from the 10th fret, so it's the 5th note of the scale, the D note. The root notes are in the same position again, 10 on the A, 12 on the G, and we've got 15 on the top E. So here's this, starting from the 10 on the A, we have 10, 12, 14 on the E, 10, 12, 14 on the A, same on the D, 9, 12, 14, 12, 13, 15, 12, 14, 15. Okay, put it together. Back down. You can hear it's all working against this chord. Now we start from the 6th degree, and the root notes are on the 15th fret bottom E, 12th fret G, 15th fret at the top E. Starting from that G, our scale positions are 15 on the E, 12, 14, 15, 12, 14, 15, 12, 14, 16, 12, 14, 16, 13, 15, 17, 14, 15, 17, 15. Okay, root to root. Back down. Our 7th and final shape is up at the 14th fret, and the root note is on the 15th fret of the bottom E, 17th fret of the D, 15th fret top E. Here are our frets. Start on 15 and down to 14, 15, 17 on the next string, 14, 15, 17 on the D, 14, 16, 17 on the G, 14, 16, 17 on the B, 15, 17, 19, and on the E, 15, 17, 19. Okay, root to root. When you're playing each shape as well, try to visualise the nearest possible chord shape. So when I'm playing shape number 1, I have the E shape and the D shape within that range. When I play shape number 2, I have the D shape and the C shape. Shape 3, I have the C shape and the A shape. Shape number 4, I have the A shape. Shape 5, I have the A shape, a bit of the G shape. And shape 6, I have the G shape. And shape 7, I have the E shape. So when I'm mapping out the fingerboard, I'm still visualising the parent chord shape from the cage system. Right, what I'm going to do is run through all of the scale shapes for you. There'll be a demonstration of the entire fingerboard played against the backing track, so make sure you check that out and you can see and also hear all of these scale shapes working against the chord. I'm going to be starting all of these shapes from the lowest fingerboard position that I possibly can, fretted wise, which is going to be the 14th, the second fret of the bottom E, and the second fret, the F sharp note, is the 7th note of the scale, so I will start on shape number 7. So make sure you practice these in as many different combinations as you can, which is what we're going to look at next.